For many motorists, winter brings a huge number of hazards that are worth being well aware of and in need of how to deal with, both in terms of driving preparation and car or vehicle preparation. This may apply to people who live in an area where extreme winter conditions are the norm every year, or to motorists who live in an area where it is not expected to have extreme winter conditions but they occur nevertheless. Winters by their very nature seem to be becoming more extreme in terms of rain and snow, ice, fog and general unpleasant conditions. Any one of these weather conditions makes driving much more treacherous and dangerous than it would be in normal conditions. This applies even more at night or when it is dark, which given the winter months, tends to be a lot more of the time. One of the first and most important things to do is to know your vehicle and how it reacts to icy and wintry conditions. Different cars will react in different ways depending on whether they are a front-wheel drive or back-wheel drive, what type of braking system they have, how large the vehicle is, whether it is carrying anything or not. It will also make a difference whether the driver is familiar with how to handle being in a skid or not. Driving on any type of ice or snow automatically increases your chances of having a skid, and knowing the proper techniques for dealing with it will help anyone avoid having an accident or crash as the result of being in a skid. It is also really sensible to allow a lot more time, both in terms of the amount of time you allow for your journey overall and also for stopping time in between vehicles. There are very clear limits as to how far you should allow between yourself and the vehicle in front in order to have a safe braking distance. These distances need to be increased significantly when the weather conditions are as bad as outlined earlier. It also helps to be aware of your route and where you're going. This may sound obvious, but in extreme conditions it is easy to misread signs or landmarks, get lost as a result. The other thing that is extremely advisable is to plan for an emergency within a few basic supplies. This can be simply things like a rug or blanket, a torch that works, some basic liquid and food, jump leads or jumper cables, as well as a cell phone and any telephone numbers that you might need written down in advance, such as breakdown service or auto truck. If your vehicle has space, it is always a really good idea to carry a shovel or ice scraper. Either of these pieces of equipment can be a lifesaver in certain situations. If you're going on a journey of any length of time, it is worth advising people before and after where you're going and roughly what time you expect to arrive. This may sound a bit dramatic, but as a piece of advice is used extensively in certain areas of the world such as the outback in Australia, and is a piece of advice well worth following if you're going on any type of journey that could be potentially dangerous in wintry conditions, wherever you live. If an emergency does occur, wherever possible stay with the car. If possible, put on some types of flashlights or interior lights or anything that might attract attention from passing motorists. If possible, use your cell phone to ring the emergency services and stress the fact either that you're on your own if you are, or that you have elderly relatives to happen with you or children who have with you. Impress upon the emergency services that you are in a vulnerable situation and needs as a matter of urgency. Peter Main is a freelance writer who has spent almost 20 years in the insurance industry, working at Lloyd's of London. He writes extensively about car insurance and in particular about how the various factors that affect car safety also have an impact on people's car insurance costs. Share this video and subscribe for more interesting auto insurance tips.